Hello guys, today we will be making a beautiful pumpkin book sleeve, very similar to this one. I'm going to be making a vertical book sleeve this time. So the opening will be up here and you will put your book in, but I will still show you how to make this horizontal style book sleeve also. That way you can choose and pick which style you like better. So let's go ahead and get into the materials. You will need a stitch marker, a threading needle, a pair of scissors, and a 4.5 hook. And for the yarn, you will need orange for the pumpkin, brown for your stem, or green if you want green stems, and a white or cream color for the base color of your book sleeve. Also, real quick side note, I did just take off my acrylic nails, so my real nails are looking a bit messed up, so please ignore that throughout this tutorial. Let's go ahead and get started. This is the book I'm using as my size reference. That is what I based this book sleeve off of. You can use whatever book you would like, so you can really personalize this to your liking. We're going to start off with our cream color and make a slip stitch. So you will grab the yarn with your index and thumb, wrap it around once to make an X, bring it over. We will go under the X and out through this middle part. Then we will grab this top part of the X. You're going to pull it under and turn your hook upwards. Now you can take out all your fingers and just pull on both strands of the yarn. And as you see, our knot has tightened. Now to tighten our slip stitch to our hook, we will pull on a working piece of yarn which is connected to your skein and just tighten it. You don't want to pull super tight, but you do want it to be secure. For this book sleeve, you are going to be chaining 30 plus an extra 2, so total of 32. For our vertical book sleeve, we will be chaining 21. So you're just going to yarn over and grab your yarn with the hook and pull through our chain. And just repeat this until you have 21. So after you have your chain, you will go into the third chain. So 1, 2, 3 right here. And just half double crochet all the way down. So to half double crochet, yarn over, go into our chain, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. And that is a half double crochet. Just repeat this all the way down. So again, yarn over into the next chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. I will meet you once you have completed that all the way down. Okay, so after we half double crochet down, we're going to turn our work upside down. We're going to do one more half double crochet into this last stitch just to help us turn our work. And then we will do one more in this same stitch, so 2 extra half double crochets in here, and this will be our first half double crochet of the bottom of our chain. And now we're just going to half double crochet all the way down right underneath our other stitches we just made. So yarn over. There's not really a specific place you need to put it. I just follow my previous half double crochets, so around here. And I like to work into this end just so I don't have to sew it in later. And again, just half double crocheting. You can kind of see little openings too, like right here. Here's another little opening. And just do this all the way down and make sure you end with 19 half double crochets because that is how many we did on this first side. Okay, I wanted to show y'all my last stitch just because it can be a little confusing. You don't want to stop here. You still have one more stitch to do right here. I know it can look a little confusing here with the chain 2, but you will need to do one last half double crochet right here. And since we did 2 extra half double crochet into this last stitch, we will do one more extra half double crochet again in that same little spot. So that is the end of round 1. To start round 2, you're going to do 1 half double crochet into the top of the chain 2. So let me try to show y'all a bit closer. This is our very first half double crochet right here. And this little side part is our chain 2. So this one right here would be the top of the chain 2. You would go into it like that. And then grab your stitch marker and hook it onto the half double crochet we just did. This will be the start of our rows. So for rows 2 and 3, we are just going to be half double crocheting all the way around. So our second half double crochet will go right here. So just half double crochet all the way around till you reach the stitch marker, and I will meet you at the end of round 2. And again, for the corner, you will just be half double crocheting into these corner stitches, just in case you are confused. You're not going to be skipping any of these. So I will meet you in just a second. Okay, so here we are after row 2. It is already going to start to cup, sort of, and that will be where the bottom of your book will go, and we're just gonna work up like this. So let's take out our stitch marker and start row 3, which again, just half double crochet all the way around, and don't forget to put your stitch marker back in. So again, I will meet you at the end of round 3. Okay, end of row 3. Again, take out our stitch marker. So to start row 4, we're going to half double crochet 4. So that was 1. Let's do 3 more. Round 4 is actually going to be where we are making our first row of pumpkins. So grab your orange yarn, and we're going to be connecting the orange yarn on the 4th half double crochet. So let's just take out the 4th half double crochet. So now we only have 3. We're going to do half of a half double crochet. So yarn over, go into the stitch, pull up a loop, and instead of yarning over and completing the half double crochet, we will be coming in with our orange yarn. So I like to hold it with my left hand, sort of tuck it back here and hold it with my middle finger. That way it is not super loose. And we will be finishing the half double crochet with the orange yarn instead of the white yarn. So we're going to yarn over with orange and pull through all 3 loops. I would hold on to both colors just while we do our next stitch, which is a bobble stitch. This will be making the pumpkin. So to do a bobble stitch, you can sort of pull tight on the orange. You're going to yarn over, go into the next stitch. You will also want to go through these end pieces, but put them in the back. That way they are not showing through. So yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2. And we're just going to repeat that 4 more times, so a total of 5. So yarn over, go into the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through only 2. So 3 more times, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Our very last time doing this, yarn over, go into the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. So once you have 6 loops on your hook, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now we're going to yarn over and pull through all of the loops on our hook, but we're not going to use the orange for this. We're going to go back to the white. So yarn over with the white and pull through all 6 loops on our hook with the white yarn. And that is our first pumpkin. Next is doing 2 half double crochets, again working into the orange. So here's our first half double crochet, and our second, we're going to do half of a half double crochet again, because we're going to be switching back to the orange. So yarn over, go into the stitch, pull up a loop, and instead of yarning over and pulling through all 3 with white, we're going to do it with the orange. So yarn over and pull through all 3 with the orange. And you can sort of pop this bobble stitch out by just pushing it from the back. And that is your first pumpkin. So we have bobble stitch, half double crochet 2, another bobble stitch, half double crochet 2, and just repeating this all the way down. So let's do our next bobble stitch again. Yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Repeat this 4 more times. Yarn over, go into the same stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, only pull through 2. And again, we're doing this 5 times for a total of 6 loops on our hook. So this should be my last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 loops on our hook. Instead of completing this bobble stitch with orange, switching back to our white, yarn over, pull through all 6 loops on our hook, push out our bobble stitch. Now we're going to be doing 2 half double crochets, again working into this orange yarn to bring it along the book sleeve with us. So here's our first half double crochet. Again, we're switching to our orange yarn halfway through our second half double crochet. So back to orange. And now we're doing another bobble stitch and just repeating this pattern like I told y'all all the way down. Bobble stitch, half double crochet 2, bobble stitch, half double crochet 2, remembering to switch your yarns halfway through the last half double crochet and at the end of your bobble stitch. I'm only doing pumpkin stitches on the front of the book sleeve. I'm not doing them on the side or back. If you would like to, you could continue the stitch onto the front, but in this tutorial I'm only doing the bobble stitch to the end of this front row. I will have 4 more bobbles till I reach the end of the front of my book sleeve, so I will have a total of 6 bobbles. So I already have 2. I just need to repeat this pattern 4 more times of bobble, half double crochet 2, bobble, half double crochet 2. If your book sleeve is longer, or if you're doing the horizontal sleeve, it will of course be different. For the horizontal sleeve I have 9 pumpkins across, and for this horizontal sleeve, of course, it is the same instructions I've been giving so far. Yours will just be slightly longer, so you will be doing an extra few bobbles. I will do 1 more bobble with you. Yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, only pull through 2. Yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, only pull through 2. And again, working into the white, that way you can bring it along with you. Yarn over, go into the next loop, go into the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, only pull through 2. And just doing this a total of 5 times, 6 loops on our hook. We're gonna finish this by switching to white, yarn over, pull through all 6 loops, 2 half double crochet now, again working into the orange yarn. That is 1. Our second half double crochet, we're going to switch back to the orange and another bobble once again. So I will meet you once I have all 6. Okay, I have finished the front of round 4, and since I'm no longer doing any more bobbles for the rest of the round, I don't have to switch back to my orange. So you can cut this piece off and work into it. That way you don't have to sew it in later. So for the rest of round 4, I will just be doing half double crochets all the way to the end. I will meet you once I am done with that. Okay, I've just finished round 4. Round 5, we're going to be making the stems. So we're going to single crochet 4, take out your stitch marker, and don't forget to put it back in, and grab whichever color you're using for your stems. I'm using brown. Okay, so doing a stem is a bit confusing, so just be patient with me, please. We're going to be doing a single crochet 2 into this first stitch and then into the pumpkin. So I will show you right now. We have our 4th single crochet here. Go into the next stitch, grab your brown yarn, pull up a loop. Now we're gonna go into the middle of the pumpkin, and you don't have to go through a specific point, just somewhere that makes it look like the middle. So I'm gonna go right here, and just go all the way through. It's a bit hard to show. Go all the way through, and we're going to yarn over, and we're going to pull up a loop from the back of the pumpkin and bring it back through the same spot. So there we go. And instead of yarning over with brown, we're going to finish this single crochet 2 together with the white. So grab your white, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on your hook, and there is your first stem. Then we're going to single crochet 2 with white. So our first single crochet will be right here. Again, working into the brown to carry it along with us. 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet. We're now at another pumpkin. Do another single crochet 2, go into the next stitch, switch to brown, pull up a loop, go into the middle of your pumpkin and pull up a loop from the back, and switch to white, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on the hook. Single crochet 2, another stem, so single crochet 2, but switch to brown, go through the middle of your pumpkin, pull up a loop, switch to white, yarn over and pull through all 3, and you're just going to repeat this all the way to your last bobble. So single crochet 2, single crochet 2 together, single crochet 2, and just repeat that for a total of 6 times, or however many pumpkins you have. This is still the exact same pattern if no matter which book sleeve you're making. You're just doing it all the way. You're just repeating this as many times as you have bobbles. So if you have 9 bobbles, you're gonna do this 9 times. So I will meet you once I finish the last single crochet 2 after this bobble. Okay, just finished my last bobble and the last 2 single crochet. I'm not going to be making any more stems for this round, so you can cut off the brown and just work single crochet for the rest of round 5. So I will meet you after single crocheting the rest of this round, and then we will start round 6. Okay, so I just finished and I wanted to show y'all what this would look like so far. So this is 5 rounds of our book sleeve so far. As you can tell, it's looking pretty good, pretty even. And again, if you're doing a horizontal one, round 5 would be a round right here. So as you can tell, it aligns with the bottom of our book. I just wanted to show y'all that real quick in case you wanted to see what it was looking like so far. Round 6, we're just going to half double crochet all the way around. No switching colors or anything. So you're going to be working with your base color, which mine is this cream. I already did 2, but just keep doing half double crochet all the way around till you reach your stitch marker. You're just going to half double crochet as normal into the base color, this white right here. You're not going to go into any brown or orange, just into the white. Here's our next half double crochet right here. So just like that, nothing special for this round. Okay, just finished round 6. For round 7, personally, I'm going to do another round of just half double crochet. So if you like this busier look more, you want more rows of pumpkins, I would just do 1 round of half double crochet, and then you will start with another row of the bobble stitch. So for me, I'm going to do 1 more round of half double crochet. So as you can see, there is a pattern. You're doing a row of pumpkins, row of stems, row of just half double crochet, and repeating that over and over again until your book sleeve is as big as you want. You're just repeating rows 4 through 6, in other words. So I will meet y'all after my last half double crochet row, after the pumpkins, if that makes sense. So you do your last row of pumpkins, last row of stems, then do that last row of half double crochet, and I will meet you after that. If you remember, for round 4, which was the round of pumpkins, you did a half double crochet of 4 before starting your first pumpkin right here. For my second row of pumpkins, I actually had to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I had to do 1 extra because if not, the pumpkin was over here and not aligned with this first pumpkin. I am not a pro crocheter, but I believe it is because we treated the chain 2 as a stitch, so it started moving over a tiny bit, or because I am working in the round instead of chaining and turning my work. I think that may also be why. Again, I am not a pro crocheter. That is why I am not selling this pattern. It is just for free. So yes, that is what I have seen so far. When I move on to the next row of pumpkins, I usually have to double check to make sure the pumpkins align. I have to do 1 or 2, check, If not, undo it, try again, but I believe you just do an extra half double crochet. And for the rest of the pumpkin rows, you will just do 5 half double crochets before starting your pumpkins instead of here where you did 4. Okay, so this is after 23 rows of our book sleeve. I did 5 rows of the pumpkin stitch, and for the rest of the sleeve, I am just going to be doing half double crochets all the way around, no color switching, no single crochet, just regular half double crochet. And I'm going to be doing 3 more rounds of half double crochet. And for the horizontal sleeve, I did 5 rows of pumpkins like I said earlier, and I only did 3 rows of half double crochet. And then after that, you can cut your yarn, sew in your ends, and we can work on the button and flap. For the vertical sleeve, I am making a different flap than this little string. This, I just made a chain and put my book in it to make sure it reached all the way across. And then of course, I just kind of tied it. I just picked a random stitch that looked like it was in the middle and just attached it there. This is around a chain of 20. So that is how I made that. So yes, now we are just doing however many rows you need of half double crochet. Okay, so I just ended up doing 2 rows of half double crochet, not 3. So we have 25 rows total, and this is where we can cut off our yarn and sew in this end. So this right here is the first stitch of the new row. So I'm going to stop 1 stitch behind it, and you can sew in this end however you want. How I do it, I think it's called an invisible slip stitch, and I don't know if I'm doing it exactly right, but this is how I do it. If you would like to do it like 100% correctly, I would just look that up. I'm sorry. I skipped the next stitch that you would crochet into, and I go into the second stitch. I go into the back loop only, which is here, instead of going through both, just the back loop only. Pull a little bit tight. Then we go back into that first stitch we skipped, going through both the front and back loop. Pull a little bit tight, and I didn't do it perfectly because it's not exactly straight, but it does look a little better than if you would just normally sew in your end. And so from here, I just bring the yarn to the inside of the project and then just sew in this end like normal, and then just cut off your yarn. And now we can start on the flap. So for the flap, I use the same color as the base, which is that cream. You're going to want to turn your book sleeve to the back. Okay, so the flap is going to be 4 stitches wide, so you just try to find the middle. You can count if you want it to be perfect, I guess, but I don't really care that much, so I just look at the front, go to the middle. The middle is right here, and I just hold up the project and just sort of eyeball it. This looks like it's the middle of the back. We're going to count 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 4th one. Just grab your yarn, enter your hook into that first stitch. You can just, what I do is just yarn over and pull through and then make a chain. Then this part you can work into or sew in. I do 1 more chain, so a total of 2 chains. Pull tight on this end and then single crochet 3 in the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3. And since I wasn't counting, I just like to double check that it looks centered enough to me. I like to turn it over. Just imagine where the flap is gonna come over. It looks good. You can also put your book in the sleeve if you want to make sure it's even. And now for the flap, we're just going to make it tall enough to go over to the front of the book sleeve. So this part, I like to put my book in every now and then. Depending on how thick your book is, you might need to make the flap longer in order to reach all the way over and hook onto your button. So this part is also very customizable, and you're just going to be doing the same round over and over, which is a chain 1, turn your work, and single crochet 4 down. So here's our first one, our second, third single crochet, and our last single crochet is going right here. It's a bit hard to tell. And you're just repeating that until your flap is long enough. Chain 1, turn your work, single crochet 4. So I will meet you after I make my flap long enough and tell you how to make the buttonhole. Okay, so I just did 9 rows for my flap, and as you can tell, I put my book in, and it reaches all the way across. But I want my button to go about right here. So the flap is going over the button, and now we need to make the buttonhole. So I'm going to take off my last round for a total of 8 rounds, just because the actual buttonhole will come all the way down here. So to make our buttonhole, we're going to chain 1 and turn your work. You can take your book out. We're going to do 1 single crochet. You're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip 2 stitches and do 1 single crochet in the very last stitch right here. And that makes our little buttonhole. Again, if you have a way bigger button in this, you might want to do a few more chains to make sure it can actually fit. Now you're going to chain 1, turn your work again, and you're just going to single crochet all the way across, including the chains. So let's do 1 single crochet here. We did 3 chains, so we need to do 3 single crochet. You can kind of just pick a spot. It doesn't have to be perfect, as long as it is the same number of chains. Our third one can go right here, and then our last single crochet. Then you can chain 1 and cut off your yarn, and that is your little flap. Okay, and the very last step is attaching our button. So we're just gonna put the yarn through the needle, and I like to put the book in when I'm attaching my button because it just makes this whole process easier, and that way I don't accidentally sew all the way to the back of my book sleeve and sew the book sleeve shut. Find where you want your button to be. In the middle, of course. I think that's where I want it. So I come in from the back and just pick a hole to go through. My yarn, I like to leave a bit of a long tail to weave in at the end. You want to make sure to keep your button in place. I'm just going to go across. You can pick whichever hole you want to go through next. Okay, then I'm going to go through this bottom. Now going through the top. Now you can kind of pull tight. Now before I actually tie this button in place, I like to just double check, make sure my flap can reach all the way across. I like how it looks. Okay, and then I like to go through all the holes once more just to make sure our button is kept in place. Okay, so once it's tight and secure, I like to just flip this over, pull tight one more time, and then holding it tightly, I like to just make several knots to make sure this does not come undone. Just after a lot of repeated use, you know, pulling on this, pulling on the button, it can become loose over time if you don't secure it super tightly. So I usually do 4 or 5 knots just to really make sure. And then you can cut off all this extra and just leave a tiny bit of a tail. I like to thread both pieces through the needle and then just weave this in through the back. You can do this however you want and just cut off your yarn when you're done. And that is your completed book sleeve. I really love this rustic country look, and I hope you love yours. You should definitely tag me in your pictures on Instagram of your completed project. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, comment below and I can try to help you. Thank you again, and have a great day or night wherever you are. Bye.